want to come off wrong, so I made every feeling long. I told my story more than twice, just to be met with silent eyes. And every time they turned away, I blamed the words I tried to say. But I'm done explaining my heart to those who never played their part, to ears that listen just to speak, to minds that twist the soft and weak. I'm not a puzzle to dissect, I'm not a poem too perfect. If you don't see me from the start, I'm done explaining my heart. I used to beg to be seen right, dim down my death to make it light. But now I let my silence stand. I don't reach out to beg, demand. The ones who know won't make me prove or ask my soul to slightly move. Real love won't make me shrink or spin. It meets me where I truly begin. So I'm done explaining my heart to rooms that never felt the spark, to those who ask me to translate the kind of love they can't create. I'm not confusing, not too much. I just require softer touch. And if they miss it, that's their part. I'm done explaining my heart. I used to wait for someone's eyes to land on me and see my light. I twisted words, I played it sweet, just hoping I'd feel more complete. I chased the warmth in someone's name and blamed myself when it never came. I thought that love was earned, not free. If someone chose to stand by me, but I don't need to be chosen anymore. Not waiting near a half-closed door. I'm not a question in the air, I'm not a prize for them to care. If you don't see what's here in me, then maybe you were never key. I'm not a girl that begs or swore. I don't need to be chosen anymore. I used to dim to make them stay, afraid my fire would scare away. But now I burn in my own name and light myself without the shame.
I'm not a role in someone's play. I'm not what's left when others stray. I'm not a
didn't steal the light too soon. I sat in corners, quiet and kind, but never asked for you to find. They chased the sparks, the highs, the rush, while I was slow, the steady hush. And for a while I felt too small, like I was nothing loud at all. I'm not the loud one, but I'm the safe one, the one who stays when others run. I won't light up a crowded stage, but I'll hold you through every wave. I'm not the chaos in the air, but I'm the calm that's always there. No spotlight, still the solid one. I'm not loud, but I'm the safe one. I don't compete, I don't perform. I keep you soft, I keep you warm. You won't hear fireworks in me, but you'll feel peace consistently. They'll come and go with burning flames, but I'm the one who knows your name, the one who loves without a show, the one who's home when others go. I'm not the loud one, but I'm the true one, the kind you miss when all is through. I don't arrive with crashing sound, but I'll be there when it falls down. You might not see me at the start, but I will hold your quiet heart. And when it's safe and softly done, you'll know I was the steady one. I used to leave before the fall, build exits into every wall. I'd smile then slowly disappear before you ever got too near. I packed my bags in silent ways, even when I wished to stay. I called it strength, I called it grace, but really I just feared my place. But I'm learning how to stay, to breathe through quiet, not run away, to let the calm inside
don't flinch when love gets close. I don't assume I'll hurt the most. I speak my mind, I sit with doubt, and I don't plan a secret out.
I don't have to vanish first to prove I'm safe from getting hurt. Sometimes the bravest thing to do is let the good things stay with you. So I'm learning how to stay, not turn the soft into decay. To trust that I don't need escape, just tenderness in present shape. And maybe love won't run from me if I stop running constantly. I won't be perfect, I won't be brave, but I'm learning how to stay. I said it's fine, more than I should. I played the part, I made it good. I bit my tongue, I dimmed my light, just to keep your comfort right. I smiled when I felt out of place, I softened every truth I faced. I made myself so easy small, so maybe you would love it all. I'm sorry for who I made myself to be, to fit a love not meant for me, for shrinking down to half my size, to not disturb your fragile pride. I bent until I couldn't breathe, and called it safe to never leave. But now I see, and now I'm free. I'm sorry to the real me. I gave too much without return, and blamed myself when I got burned. But love that asks you not to feel was never anything that's real.
So now I light the parts I hid, I say the words I once forbid, and I don't ask for less or wait for someone else to validate.
I'm sorry to the girl who tried so hard, who made her softness a discord. You were enough, you always the ache is done. But hearts don't heal on perfect time. Some pain just learns how to hide. I still wake up and feel the weight of what we had, of what came late. I laugh, I work, I play the role, but some things echo through the soul. They forgot I'm still hurting, still tracing back the things I'm learning, still missing what we didn't fix, still breaking in the quiet bits. I don't cry loud, I don't complain, but there are tears I can't explain. I don't say much, but it's still burning. They forgot I'm still hurting. I fold the grief inside my chest, show up dressed and do my best, but no one asks like they did before, as if I've locked and healed the door. Some wounds don't bleed, they just remain in scents, in songs, in morning rain. And I don't need a rescue plan, I just want someone who understands. They forgot I'm still hurting, because I smile, because I'm working, but every quiet night alone, I still feel echoes in my bones. I'm not stuck, but I'm not free, and that's still something real to me. You don't have to fix the yearning, just don't forget I'm still hurting. I stayed through all the silent days, through shifting moods and halfway praise. I held the hope like it was truth, and named the empty something smooth. You never said the words out loud, but kept me close, not too proud. I played the part you never wrote, while keeping both of us afloat. I was loyal to a love that wasn't mine, to promises you never signed. I gave my all without a vow to someone who won't show up now. You held me there, but never near, and filled my head, but not my ear. I stayed in line, I crossed the sign. I was loyal to a love that wasn't mine.
I let the maybe feel like home, build rooms inside your silence lone. And every time you didn't choose, I still believed I wouldn't lose.
But loving you was not returned, it was a lesson softly learned, that loyalty must know its place, not chase a ghost, not beg for grace. I was loyal, but now I'm free. No more pretending you loved me. hoping you'd come back and say that it meant something, that I was real, that you can name the things I feel. I held my breath through empty days, thinking maybe you'd explain. But silence was your only line, and I stayed hoping you'd rewind. I gave myself the ending you never did. No grand goodbye, no final bid, just quiet truth and softer grace, the kind you never learned to face. You didn't care to draw the close, so I walked off and no one knows. But I found peace in what I hid. I gave myself the end you never did. You left like nothing broke or burned, like I was just a page you turned. But I was chapters, I was rain, and now I won't rewrite that pain. You didn't come to say goodbye, so I stood up and told me why I mattered more than your delay, and that was all I had to say. I gave myself a final line, not bitter, just a choice that's mine. I won't keep begging ghosts to speak or chase the words you'll never seek. This ending wasn't loud or bright, but it was mine and it felt right. I healed with nothing you could give. I gave myself the end you never did. She waited long past every sign. She called it love, she made it fine. She held on tight when it was done, and thought the pain meant she had won. She begged with silence, not with sound. She twisted just to stay around. She made excuses out of dreams and covered cracks with hopeful seams. But I forgive the girl I used to be, the one who stayed instead of free. She didn't know what love should mean, she only knew what she had seen. And maybe she was lost, not wrong, just trying hard to belong. So here's my hand to let her know I forgive the girl who didn't believe enough that love would finally show up tough. But love that asks you not to heal isn't love, it's just a deal. And she believed because she cared, not knowing real love would be there. So I forgive the way she tried to stay, the way she bent herself each day. I don't regret her tender hands. She only hoped she made no plans. She loved the best she knew back then, and I would do it all again if that's what helped me start to grow. I forgive the girl who didn't let go. You showed me sparks, but not the flame. You gave me dreams, but not your name. You spoke of one day like a vow, but never showed me here and now. You let me build on hollow ground with half your voice, no solid sound. I held the hope, you held the door, and I kept waiting there for more.
I wasn't in love with who you were. I was in love with who you almost were. The version you kept hinting at, the maybe soon, the after that. But love is not a future guess, it's presence, effort, tenderness.
I wasn't held, I was unsure. I was in love with who you almost were. I traced your words like maps to truth, but never found a steady route. I filled the silence with belief and called that hope instead of grief. I fell for pieces, not the whole, for what I painted in my soul. But you stayed distant, blurred and blurred, and never stepped into the worst.
I wasn't in love with what you gave. I was in love with what I craved. You stayed the echo, not the song, and I kept holding on too long. But now I see what love should do. It shows up whole, it carries through, and that was never what occurred. I was in love with who you almost were.
told myself you loved me still, even when the room stood still, even when your words ran dry. I filled the silence with a lie. I said you're tired, not pulling back, that love can bend but still intact. I wrote your absence into care, as if not showing up meant there. It wasn't love, it was me holding on alone, building stories from your tone, turning distance into grace when all I had was empty space. You didn't fight, you didn't stay, you let me love while you looked away. And I kept calling it a home, but it wasn't love, it was just home. I gave you reasons you don't know, I made excuses not to go, I waited past the breaking line, convinced your quiet meant divine. But love won't make you guess so bad, it won't keep one foot off the edge. It shows up full, it holds, it hears, it doesn't vanish with your tears. It wasn't love, it was me staying too true to someone who just never knew that showing up is not a game, that half a heart still feels like shame. You didn't lose me, you let me slip while I still clung to sinking ships. And now I finally face what's known. It wasn't love, it was me alone. You said the right things half the time, just enough to blur the line. You held me like a maybe dream, and I called it love, not in between. You stayed close but never deep, you kissed me calm but talked in sleep. I made a home inside your doubt, while you kept one foot halfway out. You were never all in, but I still was. I carried us with blind applause. You gave just enough to keep me there, then pulled away when it got rare. I poured out steady, bold and wide, while you just let the current slide. You stayed unsure, while I became the only one who meant the same. I waited on your silent cues, I turned my strength into a bruise. You never lied, but you withheld, and I confused that with compelled. But I deserve a love declared, not one that leaves the truth impaired. If I have to beg for depth again, then this is where your story ends. You were never all reach back out. The one who calmed your every doubt. I smoothed the cracks you left behind and called it love to lose my mind. You said we're fine, we're doing good, but never noticed when I stood on tired legs with quiet grace while holding up our fragile space. It was only working because I was holding it together, 'cause I stitched it through bad weather. You thought we floated on our own, but I was rowing us alone. And every time you stepped away, I stayed to make it feel okay. You called it strong, I called it pressure. It was only love because I held it together. I bent so we could still align. You missed the tremble in my spine. You said I never asked for more, but I was busy being the floor. And now I see crystal clear. If I stop holding it disappears. That's not a love that holds its weight. That's just a story we create. It was only working when I kept it whole, when I gave twice and paid the toll. You felt at peace, I felt the strain. But love should not be built on pain. So now I step out of that role, no longer shrinking just to hold. You thought we'd last, but I know better. It was only love because I held it together. You said I felt too much, too fast, that I should learn to let things pass. You called me fire, then pulled away when I burned brighter every day. You liked me better when I bent, when I was calm, when I was spent. But when I asked to be seen too, you said that's just too much for you. But I wasn't too much. You were just half ready. You held my hand but never steady. I asked for honesty, not proof. I wanted real, not soft, not smooth. You tasted love but feared the depth, and blamed me when you lost your breath. You called me heavy when I stayed, but I wasn't too much. You just couldn't stay. I used to shrink to be received, to give you comfort, I believed. But now I know that real love sees even the parts that make you freeze. You didn't want to feel too far wasn't too much. I was just whole. You came with half and not the soul. And that's okay, I wish you peace, but I won't fold to keep the peace. Next time I burn, I'll burn out loud for someone strong, someone proud, who doesn't flinch when I ignite. I wasn't too much, you just weren't right. You came to me when things went dark. I held your fears, I took your sparks. I stayed when no one else would stay, and gave you words you couldn't say. I watched you heal, I held you through. I gave you more than you ever knew. But when you smiled, it wasn't me. You ran to when your hands were free. You needed me, but you never really saw me. You loved the light I gave for free. You loved the way I made things soft, but never once looked deep enough. I wasn't yours, I was just peace. You didn't love me, you found relief. I held your storm so gracefully. You needed me, but you didn't see me. I told myself that need was love, that being leaned on was enough. But love that only stays for pain will leave when sunshine comes again. I want a love that holds me back, that sees me whole, not just the cracks, not just the hands that help you stand, but someone reaching for my hand. You needed me, and I was there, but that's not love, that's just repair. You used my warmth, then turned away when skies were clear. You couldn't stay, but I deserve more than a role in stories where I lose control. I want to be, not just to be key. You needed me, but you didn't see me. You called me when the world felt wrong. I held you up, I made you strong. I gave you grace you never earned, and hoped that love would be returned. You said I felt like something safe, but never asked me to stay late. never the one, just the one you missed. I told myself I had to wait, that maybe time would twist the fate. But real love doesn't hesitate or keep you standing at the gate. I'm not a bridge you get to cross then leave behind like nothing's lost. If I'm not fully who you choose, then I refuse to play your muse. I was never the one, but now I see that almost isn't enough for me. I want a love that says my name without apology or shame. So let me go, let me be done with holding second to no one. I won't be half loved, half lit. I was never the one, and I'm done with it. I waited for the day you choose, held my breath and bent my truth. I learned to celebrate the bear because you never gave me care. I told myself to just hold on, that maybe one day you'd be gone from all the noise inside your head and see me fully there instead. But I deserve shows up early, not too late. That doesn't make me second guess or call my needs a selfishness. I want a love that looks me in, not one that pulls then hides again. Not someday, maybe, or just fate. I deserve a love that doesn't make me wait. I used to wear my me wait. I gave you space, I gave you time. I learned your silence like a rhyme. I wrapped my hands around your fear, but you were never fully here. I told you things I'd never told. I stayed through nights that felt so cold. I waited while you pulled away, and still believed you'd choose to stay. But you never let me love you, not really. You like the warmth, but not the feeling. You took the light, but not the flame. You like the sound, not the name. I knocked, I stayed, I held the key, but you locked every part of me. You never let me close, not freely. You never let me love you, not really. You smiled when things were soft and sweet, but disappeared when things got deep. You let me hold what you would show, but never let your edges go. I wasn't asking you to break, just to be real for both our sakes. But love can't grow inside a wall if it can't breathe. It breaks and falls. You never let me love you like I could. You let me try more than you should. And now I see it wasn't me. You just weren't ready to be seen. I hope one day you find the light, but I won't stay and dim my fight. I gave you more than just a piece, but you never let me love you deep. Don't. I don't wake up with grand plans. No audience, no big demands. I pour my coffee, sit and breathe. No race to run, no one to please. I used to chase what shined the most. A louder win, a louder post. But all that noise just made me numb. Now quiet joy is where I'm from. It doesn't look doesn't look impressive, but it feels like peace. They may not see what I let go, the weight I dropped to let life slow. But I don't need applause to stay. I found my breath in softer ways.
No checklist tells me what I'm worth. I've built my home from deep earth. It may not sparkle, may not trend, but it's the life I choose again.
It doesn't look impressive, but I sleep with ease. No ghost to chase, no need to please. I water plants, I hum, I write, and that to me feels just right. Let others climb and crave and shout. I'll build a life that's full without.
It doesn't shine like some release, but it feels like home. And it feels like peace. And it feels like peace.
They said don't cry, it makes you weak. Don't let your heart be soft or speak. But I was born with open hands and kindness they don't understand. They told me life would eat me whole if I kept wearing that soft soul. But I still gave when no one stayed, and held my light through all the shade. I stayed soft, and that was brave. I didn't turn to stone to save. my truest self locked out.
I feared my feelings, made them small, like loving deep would risk it all. I looked for peace in someone's eyes, but found it where my silence bow.
I'm finally safe inside of myself. No need to run to someone else. I don't escape, I don't pretend. I hold my heart like it's a friend. I speak with kindness when I fall. I don't tear down, I build the wall that holds me soft, protects my health. I'm finally safe inside myself. I trust my no, I honor rest. I don't compete, I don't impress. I let the quiet